Leah slammed the door of her beat-up Honda Civic, the engine still ticking in the humid Georgia evening, her mother's ashes clutched in a plain urn on the passenger seat like a silent accusation. "You think you can just waltz in here with your rainbow bullshit?" Her father's girlfriend, Cindy, snarled from the porch, arms crossed, eyes blazing with unfiltered hate. And just like that, at 17, Leah knew this new home in Atlanta wasn't a fresh start. It was a battlefield where her very identity was the enemy. Leah's world had crumbled 6 months earlier in the sterile halls of a Boston hospital, where her mother's labored breaths finally gave way to silence. Cancer had stolen Sarah from her, leaving Leah adrift in a sea of grief and unpaid bills. Her father, Tom, whom she hadn't seen since the divorce when she was 10, had offered a lifeline. "Come live with him in Atlanta. It's time we reconnect, kiddo," he'd said over the phone, his voice gruff but genuine. Leah packed what little she had, clothes, books, and the urn, and drove south, hoping for healing. The house was a modest ranch style in a leafy suburb, the kind where American flags waved from porches and kids rode bikes until dusk. Tom greeted her with an awkward hug, his construction worker hands rough against her back. "Welcome home, Leah," he said, eyes misting. But Cindy lurked in the background, her peroxide blonde hair and tight jeans screaming midlife crisis. She'd been with Tom for 5 years, and from the first glance Leah sensed the tension. That first night, over a dinner of takeout pizza, Cindy dropped the bomb. "I saw that pride sticker on your car," she said, pointing a fork at Leah. "We don't do that here. This is a Christian home." Tom shifted uncomfortably, mumbling something about giving Leah space. Leah's stomach twisted. She'd come out to her mom at 15, and Sarah had embraced her fully. Now this? The next day, Leah started at the local high school, a sprawling campus with football fields and pep rallies that felt alien after her artsy Boston school. She kept her head down, blending into the crowd of Southern accents and pickup trucks. That's where she met Morgan. In AP English, Morgan sat across from her, with curly auburn hair, freckles dusting her nose, and a smile that lit up the room like 4th of July fireworks. "New girl, huh? I'm Morgan. Want to borrow my notes?" she offered, her voice warm as sweet tea. They bonded over shared disdain for Hemingway's machismo and love for Toni Morrison's raw emotion. Morgan was openly bi with a rainbow pin on her backpack, and Leah felt a spark, a connection that went beyond words. After school, they'd grab iced coffees at the local diner talking about dreams. Leah wanted to study photography at NYU, capturing the unseen stories of everyday people. Morgan aimed for journalism at Emory, exposing injustices. But back home the air thickened. Cindy nitpicked everything, Leah's short hair, her tomboy clothes, even the way she laughed. "You're influencing my kids," Cindy hissed one evening, referring to her 2 younger sons from a previous marriage. Tom tried to mediate, but his loyalty wavered. "Just tone it down, Leah. For peace," he'd say, avoiding her eyes. One weekend, Morgan invited Leah to a LGBTQ+ youth group in downtown Atlanta. The meeting was in a community center, filled with rainbow flags and affirming posters. For the first time since her mom's death, Leah felt seen. They held hands during a group share, Morgan's thumb tracing circles on Leah's palm. "You're brave," Morgan whispered. That night, under the stars in Morgan's backyard, they shared their first kiss, soft, tentative, tasting of cherry lip balm and possibility. As weeks turned to months, their relationship deepened. Stolen moments in the school library, late-night texts quoting poetry, picnics by the Chattahoochee River. Morgan's family was supportive. Her single mom, a nurse, welcomed Leah with open arms. "Love is love," she'd say, serving homemade peach cobbler. But shadows loomed. Cindy discovered a text from Morgan on Leah's phone. "What the hell is this?" she screamed, shoving the screen in Tom's face. The argument escalated. Tom defended Leah weakly, but Cindy threatened to leave. "Choose her or me." Tom, fearing loneliness, caved. "Leah, maybe it's best if you find somewhere else." Betrayed, Leah packed a bag and crashed at Morgan's. The pain cut deep, her father's rejection echoing her mother's absence. Morgan held her through the tears, promising forever. Yet doubt crept in. Morgan had her own secrets. A lingering crush on an ex, whispers from friends about her flirty nature. The drama peaked at the school prom. Leah, in a tailored suit and Morgan in a flowing dress, arrived hand in hand, turning heads. But Cindy's sons, egged on by their mom, spread rumors. Leah's a freak, they jeered. A fight broke out. Punches flew and Leah ended up with a black eye. In the aftermath, Tom showed up at Morgan's door remorseful. I was wrong, kiddo. Your mom would be ashamed of me. Reconciliation began, tentative steps toward understanding. Cindy, faced with ultimatums, sought therapy, her prejudices challenged. Through it all, Leah and Morgan's love grew. A beacon of resilience. They graduated, heading to college together. Their story a testament to love's power over hate. The summer after graduation was a whirlwind of emotions for Leah and Morgan. With acceptance letters in hand, NYU for Leah's photography and Emory for Morgan's journalism, they dreamed of a future in New York, where the city lights would mirror their bright hopes. But first, they had to navigate the fractured family ties in Atlanta. Tom made efforts to rebuild. He attended a PFLA meeting with Leah, his face flushed but determined. I love you no matter what, he told her afterward, hugging her tightly. Cindy, surprisingly, tagged along once, her defensiveness cracking under stories of other families' journeys. I grew up in a small town, she admitted later. Didn't know any better. It wasn't perfect, but it was progress. Morgan's home became Leah's sanctuary. Her mom, Elena, treated Leah like a daughter, sharing stories of her own youthful rebellions. Life's too short for hate, Elena said, her Puerto Rican accent adding warmth. Weekends were filled with barbecues, laughter echoing in the backyard. Yet cracks appeared in paradise. Morgan started interning at a local news station, her charisma drawing attention. A colleague, Alex, a sharp, ambitious non-binary reporter, flirted shamelessly. Leah noticed the late nights, the secretive texts. Just work stuff, Morgan assured her, but doubt festered. One evening, during a rooftop party in Midtown, the tension boiled over. Alcohol flowed and Leah saw Morgan and Alex in a corner, heads close, laughing intimately. Jealousy surged. What's going on? Leah confronted later in the car. Morgan sighed. Nothing. But I've been confused. Alex gets me in ways. The words hit like a punch. Betrayal stung. Leah stormed out, driving aimlessly through Atlanta's neon-lit streets. She ended up at Stone Mountain Park, staring at the massive carving under the moon, feeling small and broken. The next day, Morgan showed up at Tom's house, where Leah had retreated. Tears streamed as she confessed. I kissed Alex. It was a mistake. I love you, Leah. The revelation shattered Leah. How could you? She whispered, echoing her father's earlier weakness. They took a break, the summer heat mirroring their inner turmoil. Leah threw herself into photography, capturing Atlanta's contrasts, vibrant murals in Little 5 Points, quiet vigils at the MLK Center. Each click was therapy, framing her pain. Morgan, guilt-ridden, volunteered at the youth group, mentoring others. She realized her flirtation stemmed from fear, of commitment, of losing her identity in a relationship. Reunion came unexpectedly at a pride parade in June. Amid rainbow flags and cheering crowds, Leah spotted Morgan holding a sign. Love wins for us too? Their eyes met, and in that sea of acceptance they embraced. I'm sorry, Morgan said. Let's fight for this. Forgiveness wasn't easy. They attended couples counseling at a community center, unpacking insecurities. Leah shared her abandonment fears, Morgan her need for independence. As fall approached, they moved to New York together, subletting a tiny Brooklyn apartment. The city pulsed with energy, subway rides, street food, endless possibilities. Leah's classes inspired her. Morgan sharpened her voice. But old wounds resurfaced. A call from Tom. Cindy was pregnant. We're getting married, he said. Leah felt a mix of joy and resentment. At the wedding in Atlanta, tensions flared when Cindy's conservative family whispered slurs. Morgan stood by Leah, defending her fiercely. The high point came during a family dinner. Cindy, softened by impending motherhood, apologized. I was scared of what I didn't understand. You've shown me love's not about labels. Tears flowed. Hugs mended fences. Back in New York, Leah and Morgan's bond strengthened. They explored the city, Central Park picnics, village jazz clubs. Their love was passionate yet tender, built on trust rebuilt from ashes. Yet drama lingered. Morgan's ex from high school reappeared, stirring jealousy. A heated argument in their apartment led to slammed doors. But they talked it out, emerging closer. As winter blanketed the city, Leah proposed a project. A photo essay on queer families in America. Morgan wrote the narratives. It became their passion, symbolizing their journey. The photo essay took shape in their cramped Brooklyn studio. Walls plastered with prints of diverse faces. Elderly couples in San Francisco, young parents in Chicago, survivors in the South. Leah's lens captured raw emotion. Morgan's words wove stories of triumph over adversity. "This is us," Leah said one night, editing late. "Our legacy." Their relationship, however, faced new tests. College life amplified differences. Leah's introverted creativity clashed with Morgan's social butterfly energy. Parties at NYU dorms left Leah drained, while Morgan thrived. "You never want to go out," Morgan complained. "I need space sometimes," Leah retorted. A major conflict erupted over Thanksgiving. They planned to split time, Atlanta for Leah's family, then Morgan's. But Tom invited them both, insisting on unity. At the dinner table, Cindy's brother, a staunch conservative, spewed homophobic jokes. "So which one's the man?" he laughed. Leah froze. Morgan exploded. "That's disgusting." The evening devolved into shouts, Tom mediating futilely. Driving back to the airport, silence hung heavy. "Why didn't you stand up sooner?" Morgan accused Tom over the phone later. Leah defended her dad. "He's trying." The rift widened. They slept apart that night. Back in New York, the chill persisted. Morgan buried herself in work, interning at a progressive news site. Leah wandered the streets, photographing snow-covered brownstones, her heart as cold. Betrayal struck again when Leah discovered Morgan had confided in Alex, the same from Atlanta, via old messages. "Leah's so clingy," one read. Hurt morphed into anger. "You went back to them?" Leah yelled in their apartment. Morgan denied romance but admitted emotional reliance. "I felt alone." They separated temporarily, Leah crashing with a classmate. The city felt lonelier than ever. Holidays' lights mocking her solitude. She called her mom in spirit, clutching the urn she'd brought north. "What would you do?" she whispered. Morgan, meanwhile, reflected at a queer support group in the village. "I sabotage happiness," she shared. Insights flowed. Her parents' divorce had instilled fear of vulnerability. Reconciliation began with a letter Morgan slipped under Leah's door. Pages of poetry, apologies, promises. "You're my home." They met at their favorite spot, Brooklyn Bridge at sunset. Tears mixed with kisses. "We build each other up," Leah said. Strengthened, they tackled the essay's climax. Interviewing a couple who'd overcome family rejection. Mirrors to their story it inspired. The project won a campus award, drawing media attention. A local gallery hosted an exhibit, crowds praising its humanity. But life threw a curveball. Tom called. Cindy had complications with the pregnancy. Leah rushed south, Morgan by her side. In the hospital, waiting anxiously, bonds deepened. Cindy, pale but grateful, squeezed Leah's hand. "Thank you for coming." The baby arrived healthy. A girl named Sarah after Leah's mom. Emotion overflowed. Tom wept, hugging his daughter. "Family's what we make it." Returning north, Leah and Morgan's love evolved. They set boundaries, nurtured independence. Weekend getaways to the Hudson Valley rekindled romance. Hikes, campfires, stargazing. Drama resurfaced via campus politics. A conservative group protested the exhibit, calling it propaganda. Threats online. Leah's photos vandalized. Morgan wrote a fiery op-ed, defending art's role in change. Support poured in. The controversy amplified their message. As spring bloomed, they graduated. Leah with honors, Morgan summa cum laude. At the ceremony, families united, Tom, Cindy with baby Sarah, Elena cheering loudly. Pride swelled. Post-grad, they landed jobs. Leah at a photo agency, Morgan at a digital news outlet. Their apartment upgraded to a cozy one-bedroom in Williamsburg. Life settled into a rhythm of shared dreams. Yet a final twist. Morgan received an offer for a fellowship in D.C. "It's my dream," she said. Leah panicked. Distance? But they discussed, compromised. Leah would freelance remotely, visiting often. The move tested them, but video calls, surprise weekends bridged the gap. Absence made hearts fonder. In D.C., Morgan uncovered a story on queer rights in the South, collaborating with Leah on visuals. Their work gained national acclaim, a book deal in the works. The fellowship in D.C. stretched into a year, Morgan diving into investigative journalism on LGBTQ+ policies. Leah, back in New York, built her portfolio shooting for magazines, portraits of activists, scenes from protests. Their long-distance love relied on trust, forged from past fires. Weekly trains to Union Station became ritual. Reunions were electric, dinners at cozy bistros, walks along the Potomac. "I miss your smile," Morgan would say, pulling Leah close. But strain showed. Leah felt isolated, her social circle shrinking. A charming colleague, Jamie, a fellow photographer, flirted during shoots. "You're talented and beautiful," Jamie said. Leah brushed it off, but seeds of temptation grew. One stormy night, alone in the apartment, Leah confided in a call with Morgan. "It's hard without you." Morgan, stressed from deadlines, snapped. "You think it's easy for me?" The call ended abruptly. Doubt escalated when Leah saw Instagram posts. Morgan at events with attractive peers. Jealousy reared. "Who's that?" she texted. Morgan replied defensively. "Just friends." The breaking point came during a visit. Over wine, accusations flew. "You're pulling away," Leah cried. Morgan admitted. "This distance is killing us." They slept back to back, silence deafening. Morning brought clarity. "We need to decide," Morgan said. Leah nodded. They walked to the National Mall, Lincoln Memorial looming. "I love you, but I won't hold you back," Leah whispered. Tears fell. They parted as friends? No lovers on pause. Leah returned to New York, heartbroken. She threw herself into work, traveling for assignments, to LA for Hollywood Pride, Chicago for community stories. Each trip healed a piece. Morgan in D.C. focused on her series, but emptiness gnawed. She dated casually, but comparisons haunted. Months passed. Their book, Hearts Unbound: Queer Stories Across America, launched. The signing in Manhattan reunited them. Seeing each other, sparks reignited. "I've grown," Morgan said. "Me too," Leah replied. They rekindled slowly. Dates in familiar haunts, honest talks. No more secrets, they vowed. A new chapter. Morgan's fellowship ended. She moved back to New York, joining a major network. Leah's career soared. Exhibits in galleries. Family ties flourished. Visits to Atlanta included baby Sarah's first steps. Cindy, now an ally, hosted pride brunches. Tom beamed. "Proud of you both." Elena, battling health issues, moved closer. They cared for her together. Romance deepened with maturity. Anniversaries celebrated with road trips. Route 66, coastal drives. In California, under redwoods, Morgan proposed. A simple ring, words heartfelt. "Will you marry me?" Leah said yes, joy overwhelming. Wedding planning blended traditions. A Brooklyn venue, Southern barbecue, Puerto Rican music. Vows exchanged under string lights, families witnessing. Honeymoon in Hawaii beaches, hikes, whispered futures. Back home, they adopted a rescue dog, naming her Hope. Careers balanced with life. Leah's TED Talk on visual storytelling. Morgan's Pulitzer nomination. Conflicts arose, work stress, differing timelines for kids, but communication prevailed. A pivotal moment. Leah's photo of a protest went viral, drawing backlash. Threats arrived. They hired security. Morgan's reporting supported, turning tide. Through it, their love anchored them. "We're unbreakable," Leah said. As years passed, they mentored youth, sharing their story. The essay evolved into a foundation, aiding queer families. In quiet moments, they'd reflect. From that hateful welcome to this life of love. Decades later, Leah and Morgan sat on their porch in upstate New York, a cozy farmhouse overlooking rolling hills. Gray streaked their hair, but eyes sparkled with the same fire. Sarah, now a teen, visited often with her own family. "You two are goals," she'd say. Their book had become a classic, inspiring generations. Leah's photography adorned museums. Morgan's journalism shaped policy. But life wasn't without sorrow. Elena passed peacefully, her legacy in their hearts. Tom's health declined. They cared for him in his final days. "Thank you for teaching me love," he whispered to Leah. Cindy, widowed, became close, regrets turned to bonds. I was blind, she admitted. Morgan faced a cancer scare, echoing Leah's past. Through treatments, Leah never left her side. We're in this together, she vowed. Recovery strengthened them. They traveled Europe, Asia, collecting stories, always returning home. Grandchildren arrived via adoption. Their house filled with laughter. Tell us about when you met, the kids begged. Leah and Morgan recounted, emphasizing resilience. In their community, they advocated speaking at schools, funding scholarships. One evening under stars, Morgan said, "From that awful start to this, it's a miracle." Leah smiled. Loved one. Their story, full of drama, betrayal, and redemption, ended humanely. Two souls intertwined, proving acceptance heals.